here from Western Massachusetts. Western Massachusetts. Before we were Dinosaur Jr., we were a band called Deep Blue. There's this guy, Scott Helland. Myself, Jay Mastis on drums. We are now going to play a Deep Blue song from 1983. This is about not going to college.
What's happening? It's the New York Hardcore Chronicles live. Worldwide live. What's going on a Wednesday? Got some people with us that don't usually make it to the Wednesday shows, so that's cool. What's going on? What's happening, everybody? What's up, Chris Corkum? You like that new song? That's Antidote NYHC. Some brand new. It's coming out on our record this summer. There you go. Thanks. Brand new Antidote NYHC. Oh, the drama. Unbelievable, man. I tell you, man. Facebook is unbelievable. Yeah. What else? What's going on out there? What's up, Larry Kelly? So some Boston people checking in today, right? Should be cool, you know? Absolutely. What's the latest on this Wednesday? Cheers from Lima. Okay, Ricardo. Good. Nice. Thank you for checking in. Renee in Holland. Good. Prime time in Holland. So there you go. You know what? Oi from Chelmsford, birthplace of radio. Is that right? Chelmsford, am I pronouncing that correctly? Chelmsford, is that the birthplace of radio? Okay. That's good. I want to, next show coming up, there's no show this Sunday, but a week from today is the Joey Shithead show. Now, I just heard from Joey's people. He might have a scheduling conflict, but we'll see. We're trying to figure it out. Hopefully the show comes off at our regularly scheduled time. Definitely looking forward to doing the show with Joey. That said, yep. Got it. Ohio's in the house. Whoa, Ohio. Cool. What's up, Lenny? What do you say, buddy? I want to be stereotyped. I want to be classified. Okay. You are Lenny from Crazy Eddie. You are a New Yorker. That said, I'm ready. You're ready. We're ready. Hardcore Shutterbug style. Let's go. What's up?
What's up?
I mean, what's happening, baby? Is it?
I'm baking in the box.
Oh, you know.
It's hot in here.
I bet it is, bro.
It's hot in here, but look, I mean, look.
Okay. Is it gonna be that kind of a party where you're freezing up the whole time? Well, we tried. Well, there you go. Let's do it without him, and hopefully he'll sign back on. Let's do photo of the day. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Wrong answers only, please. Bam. There you go. Wrong answers only, please. What have we got? Pretty damn good picture, man. That's a damn good picture. Yeah, right? Tell the transit system to get better Wi-Fi, please. He's in a metal box in the heat. You know, no wonder why. Is it Iron Maiden? Is it the Serial Poets? Is it Poison? Is it bad ZZ Top? Is there good ZZ Top? Is it the Spice Girls? Is it Oi Oi Oi? Is it the Scorpions? Big city nights. The Metal Dog. Is it Duran Duran? Her name is Rio and she dances on the sand. Is it the gluten-free motherfuckers? Rose Tattoo? Devo? Simon and Garfunkel reunion? Simon and Garfunkel reunion, that's a good one. Like a bridge over trouble. Wow! What's happening? Where's Steven Messina? Is it Menudo? Is it another pitch that has nothing to do with New York hardcore? I don't know if it's safe to say that this has nothing to do with New York hardcore. Oh, you're back.
I'm just in time to catch the hater. Who's that?
It's not. He said, is that another pitch that has nothing to do with New York hardcore? Is it? Yeah. Is it Spaz? Is that Spaz as in the English punk artist Spaz? I have some old pictures of him from that collection that someone gave me. Is it Geritol Overdose? Is it Smell the Glove? Is it the Coneheads? You gave me another one of these, right?
I did, yes.
She was a conehead. Zappa had a song called Conehead. She was a conehead. All right, here's another one. Is it Glove? It's a good name. Almost. That's almost makes the list. Glove. Is it SSD How We Rock era? That's good. That's funny. Not mad at that. That's funny. All right. Right answers only, please. Right. Can we please have some right answers only as opposed to left answers? Right answers only, please. Here we go. Is it Jesus Priests? Is it Anvil? Is it Judas fucking Priest? It's kind of safe to say. The Metal Gods.
There we go.
All right. The Gods of Metal. The Priest. Judas Priest. Is it Spinal Tap? Is it Judas Priest? All right. What do we got here, baby?
Well, first let's clarify. This is not a New York hardcore band. So beware. This is Judas Priest from Birmingham, England. And it's okay to like them, even though they're not hardcore. This is a tremendous, tremendous band. And not only that, these shots are both two different nights. both of these were taken at the Paramount in Huntington over the last 4 years ago and 3 years ago. And with Richie Faulkner on guitar, who replaced KK Downing a few years back and really revitalized the band. And really just a tremendous, tremendous band that, you know, I've been a fan of since I was a kid. And they still, no pun intended, deliver the goods regularly. Their last album is absolutely one of the best records they ever made. And you know what? I will continue to challenge the audience with pictures that won't always be in the same musical genre. So, you know.
Well, yeah, we danced around. You know, I saw Judas Priest once.
What tour did you see?
I saw Judas Priest at the US Festival in 1983.
That's Screaming for Vengeance right there. That's classic.
And it was the gig was in the desert in San Bernardino, basically. And of course, they were in full leather, and dude came out on the motorcycle.
Oh yeah. In fact, they had the reflectors. They had like the silver reflectors because it was so hot. Oh my God. That's you know, the cool thing is when they had the anniversary of Screaming for Vengeance, it came with a second disc of a DVD of their set from the US Festival.
They were one of the they were one of the great bands. That was a great day, the heavy metal day. If I remember correctly, it was Quiet Riot. Was it Quiet Riot, Motley Crue, Triumph, yep. Ozzy, Judas Priest, Scorpions, Van Halen.
Yep, Van Halen headlined it.
Scorpions were great.
Yeah, and Van Halen in their absolute prime, you know.
You know what Judas Priest record that I liked? Turbo. I'm your turbo lover. Bow, bow.
That's a pretty polarizing one. That's a pretty main. Like that's the one.
I liked that record when it came out. Like the production on that record was like this, and then I read like the snare drum was on like 24 tracks. You know.
Well, they were, they weren't afraid to kind of go radio friendly and then go back to like a heavy stuff. My favorite is the live album Unleashed in the East. Was the first one I ever had from them. And
Unleashed in the East is an incredible,
oh my God,
like live album. You know.
Well, back then there were a lot of those kind of live albums.
Yes, like Kiss, right?
Kiss Alive, or I mean,
Grateful Dead Europe '72. That was pretty live, but Did
the Grateful Dead do overdubs?
On Europe '72, yeah.
Wow. I gotta say, I thought of you yesterday. Is that we were rehearsing for the Rampage Fest, and at the studio.
Rehearsing? Who rehearses, bro?
The backdrop at the studio was a big giant Grateful Dead banner.
Oh God.
And I said, "Oh, this is so fitting."
Cool.
And then my bass player walked in wearing a Billy Joel shirt.
Ooh. All right.
So
let's keep it rolling.
Let's keep it moving. It's going to be a fun show. And,
drink some water while you're there, bro.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to be in a pool on the floor here, but really awesome. Looking forward to this one, and I'll try to see everyone at the end, unless I'm trying to catch a train and I don't make it.
If we don't, man, we'll see you at the Rampage Fest on Sunday at A7.
Absolutely.
You guys are the first band to play that room in 16 months.
That's right. We'll shake the freaking spider webs off it. So be ready.
All right. Talk to you in a bit.
Later.
All right. There you have it. The Hardcore Shutterbug. This is the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live, and we are sponsored by New York Hardcore Comics, the Texas Silver Rush, Chain Reaction Records and Skateboards, DTFM Vinyl Distro, Chacho's Tacos, Generation Records, and Casa de la... Hoya sent me a bunch of gear. Who's feeling the Casa de la Rock stuff? All right? And the Organic Grill. It's a vegan restaurant located in the East Village of New York City at First Avenue, featured in New York Magazine, New York Times, and Veg News. Their dishes have won numerous awards, including Best Veggie Burger. They make their own cheeses, sausages, and burger patties, and every dish on the menu can be made gluten-free for all you gluten-free motherfuckers. This year, they're celebrating their 21st anniversary, and they're all about having a great time while enjoying amazing, clean food. They have now fully reopened for business and look forward to seeing you. Get in touch with them. Order some great food at www.theorganicgrill.com. Also, Joe Ramini, Vinny Stigma's cousin, and the Texas Silver Rush. It's a jewelry design firm and boutique store located in the birthplace of the Texas country music scene in Fredericksburg, Texas. They specialize in working with musicians in all music genres to design and create unique one-off pieces, as well as to style them for stage, album covers, promo photos, and social media exposure. Their client list includes Rock and Roll Hall of Famers Greg Rollet of Journey. The wheel in the sky keeps on turning. Well, I don't know where I'll be tomorrow. Wheel in the sky keeps me yearning. Boom, boom, boom. Ringo Starr and, of course, Agnostic Front. During this current pandemic, all information and online sales are being taken on their Facebook and Instagram pages, and, of course, www.texassilverrush.com. I'm ready. You're ready. We're ready. It is that time. How about
Rackbone! 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 Rackbone!
What up? What up, Drew?
what's happening?
Same shit, different day, buddy. Yo, I gotta say though, I was feeling that Judas Priest, man.
Is that right?
All-time favorite records, Judas Priest, Sad Wings. Come on, man.
You know, in response of like another band that has nothing to do with New York hardcore, seems like this band has a lot to do with New York hardcore.
And it's funny with the whole Maiden Priest. They're one band to me. I don't know why they haven't formed one big supergroup already. Like, I don't think you can. I love Maiden, but it never took away from my love. It's not like Star Wars and Star Trek. There's not a battle. You know, funny.
What's the latest, bro?
You know, chilling, just enjoying the summer so far. Trying to get to the beach. It's been raining a lot, but I do want to get right into the toy today. Really, this time, guys. I don't have a lot of toys.
Is that a Boston Red Sox hat you're wearing?
No, man, that's Detroit.
Detroit.
Yo, shout out to Bird and Dougie, and happy birthday, Donnie Demon, Detroit. Those are my people, man, in Detroit. Come on, cold as life, you know.
Right on.
You know, those.
What do you got today?
I lived in Detroit for so long that when I came back from Detroit, everyone thought I was from Detroit when I came back in the mid-'80s there. So that's pretty, that's my second home. But I usually go the big, small to big on the toys. Like I start off with the small stuff and then I lead up to the biggest. But today I've shown a lot of my toys already, but I just want to represent some of the really cool ones. And today we're just going to do robots. And one of my earliest robots was, of course, the Shogun Warrior, which is such a classic. You could just show it a million times and it's still badass. So I remember having these in the 70s. I think I had 2 or 3 of these. Dragon, I think this one is Dragon. Pretty cool. And then I just want to go over, because robots were cool. We were surrounded by technology in the 70s and we didn't even really know it. Like everything on TV, and in movies was robots around us, whatever, future. I always loved Maximilian from the Black Hole, which was like a Star Wars knockoff.
I never even heard of that.
Yeah, Max, remember the Black Hole with the 2 little robots, and there was like some crazy guy that was trying to steer the ship into the black hole. Disney's the Black Hole. You don't remember that one? I always loved these. Micronauts were the bomb, when I was really little. I loved all those Micronauts. I had tons of these. That's a Kroyer.
What were you doing? Watching the show.
And Battlestar Galactica had the Cylons and this little Daggett guy, right? I mean, this was all that was on TV when I was coming up, And then there was the mix, the mutant mix. Even He-Man in the 80s still kept it alive. Like they did so many different guys, but this guy was like a cyborg, right? Cool He-Man guy. I'm just showing off toys today, guys, because you've seen most of my collection. But, Transformers were big in the 80s. And I don't know. I don't really bring this stuff out to the shows. I've thought about it a couple times, like not bring hardcore stuff out and bring toys. But nobody wants to be carting around a toy. So I'm working on doing some pop-ups, maybe for fall, maybe out in Bushwick again, a big toy con. And then this was real big in the 70s too, the $6 Million Man. You know, super cool. And I got the $6 Million Man cup. I always love that opening, you know. I think you're muted, Drew. I think you're muted, bro.
Our guest today is up on some $6 Million Man stuff. So we'll have to, if you're around, come back on. We'll talk to him about.
I will. And before I throw it down, I saved the best for last because I didn't want you to rag out. But of course, these were one of my two, favorite Star Wars guys. That's like a Death Star droid, it was called. It's like, he was one of the bad guys. Even though he was just a droid, he didn't really have a personality. This is IG-88, a bounty hunter that appeared in Empire Strikes Back and made a big comeback in The Mandalorian last year. And then, between Robbie the robot and the robot from Metropolis, these two little guys are probably the most popular robots in the world. You know what I mean? And
even I know who that is. That's R2-D2 and C-3PO.
The Abbott and Costello.
Yeah, right.
Laurel Hardy. That's what makes Star Wars endearing. It's a little cheesy. I get it though. Now it's like it's got all the magic that makes a story good. And that's.
Hey, are we going to see you at the A7 Rampage Fest on Sunday or what?
I'm coming full tilt, man. Of course.
Yep.
It'll be good to be back in the room. The show the other night was pretty good, but it's like weird. It's like awkward. Like it's almost like people show up, they don't even know how to go out. It was fun. It was an experience. So we've already been chilling over there by A7 and everything a little bit, so it's more relaxed,
Absolutely.
It's weird being out in Brooklyn, but yeah, definitely. All the bands represent Diamond Dogs, right? I like Necrotic Society, man. Those kids are cool.
It's going to be a great show. First show back in A7.
I like bands that mix up the genres. There's a tack to that, If you mix the genres up of music wrong, it just comes off like everything else. But if you do it right, you got something pretty good,
Cool.
Definitely.
All right, brother.
And I'll definitely have just the new Rat Bones Wall of Death shirt. I don't know if I've showed it a couple times, but I dig it enough. That's the famous Wall of Death shot from Murphy's Law Circle Jerk show at City Gardens in the 80s. So, yeah, looking forward to seeing everyone. Looking forward to the show today, and we'll see you next time, bro.
Ragbone! 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 Ragbone!
All right. Before we bring our guest on, I just want to mention Chain Reaction Records and Skateboards, located in Lakewood, Colorado, is the Rocky Mountain headquarters for all things punk, hardcore, and metal. Established in 2014, they have the largest selection of records, CDs, shirts, stickers, patches, and accessories between Chicago and Los Angeles. From the pit to the ditch, they got your back. Get in touch with them at www.chainreactionrecords.com. I want to mention this upcoming show that a lot of people are, you know what? Yeah, all right. No, hold on. Let's not get crazy. How about this one? Yeah, you know what? Let's get crazy. August 22nd, coming on the show. As if you don't know already, because this thing was passed around the internet like a cheap Tijuana hooker. Biohazard's coming on the show. It is the 30th anniversary of Urban Discipline, and Bobby Hamble, Danny Schuler, and Billy Graziadei are coming on to talk about it. It's coming out on vinyl. This is going to be a great show. These guys, I have deep, deep roots with these guys. So this is going to be a good one. Absolutely. While we're at it, you know what? Bug it. This has not been announced yet, but let's announce it now, huh? Why not? Let me clear all this stuff off. Coming up Sunday, August 1st, Philadelphia represent Joe Hardcore McKay, the promoter who does This Is Hardcore. Of course, he plays in the band Punishment and was in Shattered Realm. Let's get some Philly up in this piece. Let's talk about the history of This Is Hardcore. Joe Hardcore coming on the show. So there you go. Lots going on, kids. Lots and lots going on. That said, is everybody ready? Yeah, man. It's going down. Philly, absolutely. What's up, Tom? Good stuff, Drew. You're the best. Love all New York hardcore. Well, I don't know if I'm the best, but I'm in the running. I'm one of the good ones. That said, let's do this. Let's go, kids. Exactly. FSU off limits. Well, I don't know. We'll see. He is coming on the show. We'll see. And also, Rick, just in response to what you posted before, there's nothing wrong with the Red Sox hat on this show. Everyone's welcome, you know? So here we go. Let's bring our guest on. This is the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live. Here we go. Hailing from Western Massachusetts. Today's guest is an American Why can't I say that? Today's guest is an American rock musician. I'm like Mackie Sasser from the Mets. Remember he had this thing where he couldn't throw to first base? He couldn't throw the ball. Okay, I got it. Hailing from Western Mass. Today's guest is an American alternative rock musician. Wow. Acoustic guitarist, bassist, and songwriter with deep hardcore roots. He's known for his work with School of Violence, Dark Side, NYHC, and is a founding member of Deep Wound, Outpatients, and Frenchie and the Punk. He also performs instrumental music as Guitar Me of One. Please welcome, coming at us from New Paltz in the Empire State of New York, one of the good guys, Mr. Scott Helland. Hey.
What's up? What's
Bro,
up?
I don't know, man.
Alternative. What the fuck?
I don't know.
Alternate. You were in some alternative.
I'm
good to see
losing
you,
it, man.
It's good to be here. It's good to see you.
It's good to be here, and it's good to see you too, man.
Yeah, man. I love this show. I'm happy to be on this show. This is great. I love your show.
Thank you. This show loves you, bro. And people are excited that you're coming on today.
I hope so. That's good. We're excited.
Led by Chris Corkum.
Yeah. What's up, Chris?
So, yeah. Tom says, nice to meet you, Scott. Old school here from the 80s. OG here. Okay.
Awesome.
Yep.
Yes.
That said, let's get cracking. What's the latest? What happened when the zombie apocalypse hit? How I know things are opening up now, but I know you know, I consider you a working musician. So, you know, what happened? How's your life been?
Exactly. Yeah. A working musician for the last 38 years.
Yeah.
Well, you know, French and the Punk, the duo I have with Samantha, my partner, we had a tour in England all set for May 2020. We had gigs all lined up, festivals and stuff. And of course, all that got canceled. There's a classy picture of Frenchie and the Punk right there.
Mm-hmm.
I dressed up for that one. Wore a suit, nice suit, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, we just had like every other working musician, we had stuff canceled. Just one by one. This one dropped. So we were looking at a whole year of nothing, and we kind of hit the ground running, and we just started doing live streams from our basement. You know, we transformed the basement every week into like a different set and played different, you know, sets of songs and stuff with a different theme. We did one with like a French theme. Hey, today's Bastille Day.
Happy Bastille Day, all you frogs out there.
Right. All you bat frogs out there, yeah.
All you bat frogs out there, right. from your basement in lovely New Paltz, New York.
Yep. Yep.
Tell us, how did you come up? Did you grow up in a musical household? Where were you born and raised?
I was born in Centralia, Illinois, and then we moved to Missouri, Maine, and we settled in Westfield, Massachusetts. That's a town, kind of a working class town, 2 hours west of Boston.
Westfield?
Westfield, yep. It's
Westfield.
outside of Amherst, Northampton, Springfield.
Got it.
Springfield, where they used to make Indian motorcycles.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, yeah. And the family was kind of musical, I could say. My father was a trombone player in like the Navy band in World War II. He's on a submarine and all that. But they were my parents were total academics. They're both teachers, and they're really heavily into jazz. So they played jazz in the house all the time. You know, all the greats, Dizzy Gillespie, Ben Webster, Sonny Rollins, Oscar Peterson, all those great, Django Reinhardt guitar stuff, Joe Pass, great, awesome jazz musicians. So that was being played in the house all the time.
Wow.
So it was pretty musical, I would say. We didn't like sing in the car or anything, but there was music always on.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I don't think I heard jazz or anything like that, until I was an adult.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I had a steady diet of it.
Do you know this up in New Paltz, the Phi Alpha Nu toga parties? Do you remember those?
I don't, because I moved to New Paltz in 2001.
Murphy's Law used to play those every year, and it was a happening, man.
Huh. I think someone in Murphy's Law owns a restaurant up here, or used to own a restaurant.
Yes.
The Bistro.
Yeah, Dougie Beans.
Yeah, yeah. It's like the best restaurant in New Paltz.
Yeah, he's still up there.
Cool.
So how did you pick up an instrument? How did that come about? Why guitar?
Well, actually, I started out playing bass, but I had an older brother who played guitar. And I got to say, what got me into music, into playing music, I heard stuff on the radio, whatever was on, Lynyrd Skynyrd and Bad Company and The Doors. That was cool. It was okay. But it wasn't until I was just flipping through the dial on the left of the dial, probably in the car while my mother was in the grocery store shopping, flipping through the dial, and I heard "Do You Remember Rock and Roll Radio" by the Ramones.
Yeah.
From the End of the Century record, 1980. It was 1980. And it's just, that blew me away. It was kind of like a lightning bolt. I just heard that. Just like, wow, what is this? And, and I tried to find it. I heard that one time. I tried to find it again. And then I went up to local record shop and found the first Ramones record I could find. And that was Rocket to Russia.
Love that. That's my favorite, man.
Oh, yeah. The classic. It's the first record I ever bought. I bought that and I was completely hooked. And I think at like 12, when I was listening to that, I knew exactly what I wanted to do, and that was play music. So of course I went out and got a bass because I thought the bass was cool. My brother was a guitar player, so I figured he's playing guitar, I got to play bass. And Dee Dee just kind of jamming out, busting out on his Fender Precision bass was total inspiration. That's basically, bass guitar was my first instrument. I didn't start playing guitar till much later.
And you were really young when you started playing music. You were like 12 years old when you started a band, right?
Yeah, well, I think when I started Deep Poon or jamming with Lou, the guitar player of Deep Poon, I probably was just leaving 13 into 14. But I started playing and jamming, when I was 12. But I don't think we started Deep Poon until I was probably more 14. We started playing shows. Yeah, I was a little tyke. Definitely.
And
yeah, that's it. Jay was probably 17. Charlie was probably 17. I think I was 14, and Lou was probably 16.
And that's Jay Mascis on the left. You, the singer, right?
Yeah, I'm how I'm looking at it here is Lou with the glasses on the left, me, Charlie the singer, and Jay with the cool Venom shirt.
Oh, I got him. Oh, Jay's Jay's wearing the black shirt. Who's wearing the glasses?
That's Lou Barlow, the guitar.
I got him mixed up. Okay, I got it.
Yep.
Yeah, that looks like Jay. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you look like you're about 11 years old.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Yeah.
So tell us about Deep Wound. How did it get rolling? What did you guys start playing? And what were your influences?
How we got rolling is I met Lou in high school. We were both in high school together. I think he was a grade above me, and he was like the only other kid that I saw in high school that had like Minor Threat or something scratched on his books, and I had Ramones scratched on my pants, and we were just like the only misfits in high school. We started sitting together at lunch and just talking about stuff. And he plays guitar, I play bass, so it was like, let's start a band. And I would go to his house and we work on riffs and stuff. And we said, all right, we need a drummer. So we put up I had my father drive me to around the local towns like Northampton, Amherst. I remember putting up a flyer in a bus stop in Amherst, Massachusetts. And Jay Mascis, I think he said that's the flyer he saw. Jay Mascis answered the ad. I think he called us, and his father drove him out to Lou's house. And that's how it formed. And he came up with the name Deep Wound. But it started with Lou and I just kind of jamming in his attic.
And Jay played drums initially, right?
Jay was a drummer back then. Yeah, he was a great drummer. Yep.
Is that right?
Yeah, he was really good. He still is a really good drummer. Yep. Yep.
And
he's just super fast pounding beats. Great.
And I want to put up a couple flyers, but eventually you guys actually recorded this which I had back then.
Yeah, that's the first and only original record that we put out. And I'll tell you something, that cover is my hand holding an ice cream cone full of slugs.
I always wondered what the hell that was.
Lou and I were like 15 and 16, and we went across the street from his house in Westfield to a ravine by a hospital, and we found some slugs.
Slugs? Those look like big slugs, man.
Those are huge slugs. They're like 4 inches.
Oh, I see that they're sort of antenna. I see, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
We went in there and took a couple pictures, and that was the cover.
Oh, man.
We ate them. They were good. They tasted great. Good stuff. Good for you. Vitamins.
Now, here's an early flyer, the earliest dated flyer that I have of Deep Wound playing with FU's, Jerry's Kids, and DYS, right? This is now, we'll get to that, but why is Outpatients on this flyer too?
Because I was in both bands. I was doing double duty.
Is that right?
Yeah. That is like the first hardcore show at the Guiding Star Grange Hall there in Greenfield.
I see.
I started playing with Deep Wound, and we were doing a couple shows. We did galleries and stuff, a couple shows around the Amherst or Western Mass area. And then I started a band with my brother, who was in he had an early metal band from Massachusetts called Mace. Not the West Coast band, but the East Coast band.
That's a good name for a metal band, Mace.
Yeah, that medieval thing with the spikes.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
We are Mace.
His bass player left to join the Navy, and we just said, hey, let's start a hardcore band. So they kind of went a little bit from the metal thing to more hardcore band when I joined. So and I did both bands for maybe 2 years.
Here's another one with both you guys on the bill. You know what I wanted to ask you is that when you guys, like you and Jay, I think I'm a couple years older than you, right? And
I think
I was in Boston at the time, and I was a part of that early SSD control thing. And did you guys come into Boston to see like this first wave of Boston hardcore? Do you remember any of that?
Oh yeah. I was trying to think the other day if I had seen the Mighty COs, your band.
Right.
I should have remembered that though, right?
Well, not necessarily.
Not necessarily. Yeah, I remember actually the first hardcore show I ever saw was in Boston, and Lou and I think we took the bus, and it was the Dead Kennedys and the Freeze, 1982 at the Spit or 9 Lansdowne in Boston.
Yeah, listen, I was a part of that show at 9 Lansdowne. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was well. It was the There was the Nine Lansdowne show, which was a really crazy show. Originally, it was supposed to be at the Cyclorama. They didn't want it. It moved to Nine Lansdowne. That was an incredible show. The Dead Kennedys were really at the peak of their powers, man. They were awesome.
Yep, that was the first show I ever went into the pit in, and the last show, because I'm 5'5". I'm not a big framed fucker, so I was in the pit. I went in there and I think I got like a boot across the face, and it's like, all right, I'm done. I got my taste. That's cool.
Yeah.
The people who are built like fucking, tank trucks.
Yeah.
First show, like, all right, slam, mosh, whatever it was, slamming, pogo, whatever. I got my taste. I'm out. So I just stuck with the music.
You know what? People are asking, I have some of those photos. Let me see.
Sick people were slamming and still pogoing. Oh yeah. That's an age slamming and pogoing. There was a Boston band that had a song.
SSD Control was on that bill.
On that one with Crucifix?
No. On the Dead Kennedys bill.
I don't think they played that. I think it was Jerry's Kids in the Freeze.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Pretty sure it was the Freeze.
Okay.
But bands were like canceling and going in and out of shows all the time. So
let me see. I know I have. Where's those dead? Yeah, I have some Dead Kennedy shots from that. But
oh, cool.
But did you ever make it into like? Well, I guess Gallery East. Did Deep Wound play Gallery East?
Deep Wound played Gallery East, and unfortunately, I don't remember who we played with. But we played Gallery East, and I think it was '82.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's when the shows were going down.
I got a funny story about that show.
Sure.
I don't know if I should share it, but I can share it.
Now's the time to share it.
No disrespect to anyone in the band, but on the way back, it's not disrespect. On the way back, I guess Jay was kind of feeling sick. He used to get migraines. So we were in Lou's father's station wagon, with the wood on the side of the car, one of those kind of station wagons. And he was kind of sick from the show or the lights or the sound. And so on the way back, going down the Mass Pike, he was barfing out the window. And just, he'd roll down the window a bit and sit by the window and just be like, ugh. So, and by the time we got back to Westfield, Mass, to Lou's house, we got out of the car and the whole side of the car was just caked with chunks.
Dude, everybody has that story.
Were they? I mean, it was just insane. And
who had to clean it off?
Lou's father or his grandfather came out with a hose and just started hosing it down. That was on the driveway. And I think I'm pretty sure he said something like, "So, did you have a good show?" As he's hosing down the chunks. Hilarious. So that's what I remember from our first Gallery East show.
Sure. Here's another great flyer from. Where's this one from? Oh, so this is the infamous Greenfield Grange.
Yeah, Greenfield.
What does that mean, Grange? What does that mean?
Grange Hall. It's like a VFW hall, but they call them Grange halls too. And it's just one of those typical hall shows. Greenfield was the place where we had a lot of classic shows. Sometimes the Outpatients would do PA. Sometimes we'd set up the show. And that All White Jury was a great Western Mass band.
Right.
Brain Injured Unit, great Western Mass band. I don't know if SSD made that show. I know Crucifix did, and they were amazing.
Yeah, that's a weird one. I sort of have no recollection of that one. Like, we'd have to ask Jamie from SSD. Here's and then so things march on. Deep Wound. I mean, it's pretty impressive that you youngsters got a 7-inch out. I couldn't get a 7-inch out until I was like 50 years old.
Yeah. Radio Beat was a studio record label in Boston, and they had seen us. They were really into us. That's where I recorded a whole record with the Outpatients that never came out. But yeah, Radio Beat, I think it might have been their first record that they put out, was that Deep Wound 7-inch.
Andrew Steele says, the Grange is a VFW for farmers. Thank you, Andrew. I did not know that. Thank you very much.
Yep.
Because I always knew those shows were at the Greenfield Grange. But when you sent me a lot of these flyers and I did my homework, I saw that it all, it's called, it was more specifically the so-and-so Grange in Greenfield,
Yeah.
So when the record came out, did it do well? I mean, how'd you get it out there?
I think Radio Beat sent some out. I know Jay sent some out. I don't even really remember that kind of stuff back then. We got great reviews. That did really well. I mean, fans and stuff really dug it. I mean, I think really where it connected was live because we were just so, ripping live. But I don't really remember how that, now it's like everybody loves that record and people say like, it kind of like grindcore bands are inspired by it. And
right.
Mike Patton was just talking about it in Rolling Stone. That was a record he used to listen to. Like, really? Wow. So it's cool. I mean, it's cool that people like that stuff.
Did you guys come up with the money for that? Or did like someone's parent like fund it? How did that work for a bunch of young teenagers?
I think we all kind of chipped in a couple pennies and dollars here and there.
Got it done.
Yeah, I got it done. Yeah. Hook or crook.
Cash, grass, or ass. No one rides for free. What's the transition from Deep Wound to Outpatients? How did Deep Wound like come to a formal close, and then you really focused on Outpatients?
Deep Wound kind of started in late 81 or early 82. Outpatients started in late 82. So I did both bands for a while until Deep Wound kind of fizzled out in 84 or so. I mean, my focus probably turned towards Outpatients. I think, like Lou and Jay were probably getting, the idea or, coming up with the whole Dinosaur Jr. thing and wanting to do, I think they're probably getting bored with hardcore already.
Right.
A little bit, and wanted to change it up. And my father, my brother Vis and I, our father died in 83, like a month after our first hardcore show.
Wow.
So I think that kind of made me focus a little bit more on the Outpatients because it was family. It was my brother and I. We lost our father. It was totally ripped the family apart. It was awful. I mean, my father's a really cool guy and it ripped everything apart. So I kind of leaned my focus more towards the Outpatients probably. And it just was a natural progression where those guys went off and started their own band, Dinosaur Jr. And I was still angry and wanted to play more aggressive music. So, we stuck with the Outpatients. We put out demos and Outpatients kind of took off right away too. I mean, we started going to CB's and playing like amazing shows at CB's, and we opened up for GBH at Rock Hotel, and we played with Warzone and Mental Abuse.
Yeah, well, I got those. We'll make our way. By the way, Ramona Clifton says, actually, I put up most of the money. Hi, Scott.
Okay, I remember Ramona. Really? Okay, I didn't know that. All right, I guess I owe you some. I owe you like $50. Right?
Let me. Where is? Hold on. Let me mute that.
I mean, it sounds familiar.
Okay.
You got more flyers for us?
Yeah, I got this. This is Outpatients, correct?
Yep. That's Outpatients outside a club in Connecticut. It may be by the Anthrax or it may be by Poco's in New Haven. Mm-hmm. Man, I was a little kid at that. Wow. I can see right by my brother, the guitar player's head is a crucifix logo.
Sure.
And that was our drummer at the time, Mike Kingsbury.
You Outpatients were a three-piece.
We were a power trio.
Power trio, like the Jimi Hendrix Experience.
Like the Jimi Hendrix Experience, who we really loved. My brother is totally into Jimi Hendrix, but probably more importantly, like Motorhead.
Look at this kid's bass rig. Was that your bass rig?
The head was, but not the cabinet. But I did have a cool bass rig back then. That's my Hondo bass.
Is that? It looks like the PV head.
It does. That was the big thing back then. Those PV amps.
Yeah, Leonard Skinner played him, right?
Oh, yeah, totally. Except the only thing with PV amps back then, you play them for an hour and then they just start getting muddy.
Yeah, right.
Parts, you know? When we
Did
first
you-
started, we didn't have money for cabinets. So Viz, my brother, we built cabinets out of like particle board, and we just bought speakers and just wired it that way. It was pretty crusty stuff.
Wow. It's like,
But
what
you know, where there's a will,
it's
there's
like,
a way.
It's like what Sepultura was doing in you know, in Brazil. You know?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, like I said, where there's a will, there's a way. You know, after my dad died, I mean, you know, that was like, my dad was a breadwinner. He was the teacher of the family. We were definitely lower middle class or whatever. So there's my bass rig right there. That's the cabinet I made, and I had an SVT B15 or 12.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So you made yourself a cabinet and used that killer SVT head.
Yep.
Wow.
I can see on that too, on that speaker, there's no grill. That right on the speaker, you can see the cone got kicked out. for all the gearheads looking at the speaker, like, what is that?
Yeah.
And that picture is from when we opened up for Scream at Riley's in Boston.
Oh, wow.
And I don't think Dave Grohl was in it at the time, but that was he was in Scream for a little while.
Right on. Now, there's a lot of good. I got a lot of good outpatient stuff. But one of the things that you mentioned was coming to New York, and you mentioned this in my book that's coming out. This particular show, how you talk about. Yeah. Oh, you have that. Let me see that.
It's the same one. Yeah.
Nice. So you guys would take road trips into the city.
Yeah, we had this great manager at the time, Kathy Allman or Kathy Tricks, and she used to call up and get us bookings there. You know who really helped us with gigs is Johnny Stiff.
Oh, wow.
I definitely want to give a shout out to Johnny Stiff because he hooked us up with a lot of great shows. Also Charlie Infection from Cancerous Growth.
Right.
We went down from Boston with those guys. AOD, I think, got us on a couple bills at CB's. So yeah, definitely Johnny Stiff really hooked it up for us.
I want to find what you're
searching the archives.
Well, no, I want to find what's in the book, the upcoming book, and I want to read it.
Okay, yeah.
If I could find it. What year was that? 85?
Which show? The Rock
CB.
Hotel show?
No, yeah, the one, the CB's one. You coming down?
I think it was probably 83 or 84.
Really?
Yeah. We started playing CB's in 83 and 84.
Okay, wait, let me find it. Let me find it. Here. Where is it? Huh. I don't see it. Where the hell?
You know, another thing about going down to New York City from Western Mass, I mean, you know, Western Mass was kind of suburbs and stuff. You know, just 15, 16, 17-year-old kids driving down there. It was quite an experience to go into CB's, you know.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, after, you know, we lost our father, I mean, going to hardcore shows is what kept us. I know it probably sounds like a cliche, but it really kept us together and kept us.
Okay, can I read this?
Oh yeah.
I found this. And this. Wait, let me put this flyer up because what you're talking about. Well, no. All right, let me just read this. This is you in my upcoming book. This particular time period was rough. This show was shortly after my dad unexpectedly died. Playing outpatient shows and having our mom at home alone made my brother Viz, guitarist, and I, bassist, feel a bit guilty, but it was our only mental and emotional escape from our harsh reality. This show in particular probably felt like a desertion because it was the day before taxes were due, and she was stressed out about doing the taxes for the first time and figuring out all the red tape bullshit. Nevertheless, we packed our gear into our rickety Ford Econoline van, which had a hole in the passenger side floor that you could see the road through. and headed out of Massachusetts bound for New York City and CBGB. Once at the show, we were able to leave our world behind because of the music. The scene became our world, our focus, and our family for that afternoon. Shows like this got us through a fucked up family tragedy. That night, the insane pit for Warzone was our therapy. Paul and Blake from Sheer Terror and Sid from mental abuse, who I always see in my mind's eye with his glasses strapped to his head, were super cool to us right off the bat. The camaraderie meant a lot. Sunday hardcore matinee shows were pretty sacred to us. Not sure what we have done without playing these shows. It's heavy, bro.
Yeah, that's it, man. I can't say it any better than I said it then.
Yeah,
exactly. I mean, people always talk about, it's a family. It totally is. If you people are like, oh, if they make fun of it, they don't get it. The whole hardcore scene is kind of like a family, especially the New York hardcore scene, especially nowadays,
Yeah, it's a family and it's dysfunctional.
Yeah.
As we all find. I mean, but there is an underlying sense of family and camaraderie. And I will say that there are more positive people than negative people.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially back then as young kids, we needed something. We needed some kind of support. And the hardcore shows were support.
Yeah.
And, getting up on stage and just thrashing it out. We would go so wild on stage. It would be to the point of hyperventilation. We were just going crazy. It was total exorcism of emotion and just getting it out. The only way a 15, 16-year-olds know how to do it is just,
It's funny because what you're saying about how it's like an exorcism of emotion, I really feel that way now when I'm on stage doing, singing, for Antidote NYHC and of course for all the years, not for all those, but the last, I don't know, let's just say the last 10 years, I feel like I've really learned and figured out how to channel all the bullshit that's going on in my life to when I get on stage and just put it out there. It's like a real, right?
Totally. Absolutely. Still, it doesn't matter what age, we're in our 50s and it's just playing music and especially, playing hardcore. Man, it's something that we have to do. It's something it's in the blood. It will never get old until we're off the planet.
Here's another show. I mean, this is later on, I think in Outpatients, this is probably what, 86, 87 or something. But this is a pretty cool bill. PMS, Outpatients, AOD, Leeway. I love how these bands have like 3-letter names. PMS, AOD.
Totally. Yeah. AOD. Yeah. COC, all those bands.
Yeah, right.
PMS were great, man. There's a lot of great women in hardcore and punk bands.
We don't have a lot of all girl hardcore bands these days,
Yeah. PMS, Wench, the Lunatics.
Well, I think Wench was the PMS gals.
Yeah.
Yana and them. PMS, Blood, was it Scab? Those were all like, those were all
classic. Those are great bands.
For sure. Hey, absolutely. Hey, let me take a break and shout out some sponsors. And when we come back, let's talk about the Anthrax in Connecticut and you guys and you guys playing there and how that was sort of an integral part of the circuit as well.
Yeah, sounds good.
See you in a minute. All right, what's happening? It's the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live. Our guest is Scott Helland from Deep Wound, the Outpatients, Frenchie and the Punk, and Guitar Me of One. We are sponsored by Generation Records, Chacho's Tacos, DTFM Vinyl Distro, Chain Reaction Records and Skateboards, The Texas Silver Rush, Organic Grill, and, of course, Debo the Pro. I know you're out there, brother. New York Hardcore Comics. New York Hardcore Comics opened in 2013, selling comic books, punk rock, and hardcore memorabilia, toys, statues, skateboard decks, tapes, vinyl, and all things horror. We love helping bands push their demos and new tracks, so please stop by and drop off your new music. We have in-store events like Magic the Gathering and Warhammer tournaments, plus meet and greets with bands and some live performances. Open 7 days a week and shipping worldwide. Find us online through Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, eBay. We are located at 117 Main Street in lovely Dobbs Ferry, New York. Get in touch, www.newyorkhardcorecomics.com. Also, what's up, Devin? DTFM Vinyl Distro is a record store that specializes in underground music, punk, ska, hardcore, metal, and more. Located in the heart of Fargo, North Dakota's Industrial District, shop in person or online at www.dtfmvinyldistro.com, where the motto is death to false metal. That said, want to mention a couple shows real quick. Coming up on Sunday, July 25th, from Exodus and Generation Kill, Mr. Rob Dukes is coming on the show. Lots to talk about with Rob. Good dude. Also, on Wednesday, July 28th, Dave Scott Schwartzman, New Jersey Hardcore represent. Dave Scott Schwartzman of Adrenaline OD is coming on the show. So that should be pretty cool as well. I want to mention, if you don't already know, if you're enjoying this show, please jump on board. There is a Patreon page that is out there. It's how people support the show. It's what makes this show happen. Your support is needed. I want to mention a couple of new patrons out there, Linda Nardelli and Jeff Steiner. Thank you both for coming on board and supporting the show. We are doing a Drew Stone cinematic and music walking tour, patrons only, coming up in a couple of weeks. Everybody, all patrons are welcome. So please get with me with that. What else? Rampage Mosh Fest A7 is happening this Sunday. If you're in New York City, please come. Instagram. If you have a communication device, please, at Stone Films NYC, please follow me at Stone Films NYC. Please follow us. Also, there, if you're watching this in a rerun, there is a subscription button. Tickle, 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 right there. Please subscribe to the YouTube page. This way you get alerts whenever we announce new shows. Also on Patreon, every other Wednesday, we do a private Patreon show. So that said, Chris Corker, my ex-girlfriend Kim loved Exodus. She'd always go into the pit for them. All right, Kim, represent. What's up, John? Brian Walshby's Rock and Roll Gas Station Bifocal Media. I'm not sure what you're talking about there. Jeff Steiner, great show today. Hey, buddy. Hey, you know why this show's great today? Because you support it, dude. Seriously. So thank you. Thank you very much. No social here, Drew, but I would always help you out, my friend. If you're not on social media, how are you watching this show? Very interesting. Question for you, Drew. What role did you play in West Side Story? Good question, buddy. Hold on. We have to find a picture to accompany that. Where is the great West Side? Oh, here we go. Good question. Here I am acting as a teenager in West Side Story. I played the role of, I was a jet. There I am in the middle there with my shirt. Look at the bot on that kid, huh? There I am in the middle there with my shirt off, right? I played the role of Diesel. He was a jet. When you're a jet till the end. Yes. You know, so there you go. Good offbeat question. You know, we take all questions here. So there you go. That said, let's bring our guest back on. Scott, you out there? Let me see. That's right. From your first cigarette to your last dying day. When you're a jet, you're the swingin'est thing. Little boy, you're a man. Little man, you're a king. The jets are in gear. Our cylinders are clicking. The sharks will stand gear. Because every Puerto Rican's a lousy chicken. Here come the jets. Hey.
He went from singing Turbo by Judas Priest to West Side Story.
I'm your turn. Anyway, so that said, let me see. Couple more. What is this one here? Here's an interesting Outpatients flyer. What's going on with, let me clear this stuff off.
Oh, yeah. I remember that show very well.
Yeah, what is this?
I'm pretty sure that, that is the How We Rock record release.
Oh,
show
my.
That we played with them.
Right.
I gotta say, lots of people. This is like not. It's not an ego thing, but I remember a lot of people saying you guys smoked SSD that night because even Mike Gitter had mentioned that. I got to mention it just because they were kind of going in that How We Rock kind of mode, and
Right.
People. Hey, Outpatients did the same thing. We kind of went in a more metal thing too.
We all did, brother.
Oh, totally, yeah.
We all did.
And we had a phenomenal night that night. And I have to say, they might have had a little bit off night. I love SSD Control too, but.
Andrew Steele says, I was at that show. Outpatients crushed the place. Indeed.
Awesome. That's cool.
That's pretty cool.
That's cool. Yep. Yeah, it was a great night. And that's, of course, the flyer is taken from their, I think I made that flyer. That's taken from the SSD Kids Will Have Their Say record.
You know, I never saw SSD Control when they went rock. I saw them play like the last time in New York City before they, like, I never saw them. So my memory of is like the mighty SSD Control. I never just because I don't think they came down to New York and played in the end during the, like, when they were really doing the rock thing, you know?
Yeah, maybe not. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, as like musicians, you kind of grow and evolve on your instrument. I was playing bass all the time, and I was into a lot of different kinds of music, and you get better on your instrument and you try different stuff. And sometimes when you're playing, you like heavy music, it comes out a little bit more metallic, or maybe your roots of like AC/DC or Judas Priest come out or something,
We did it too. I mean,
it's all good. I mean, I love heavy music. I loved it back then. We were listening to Grandmaster Flash. We were listening to Judas Priest, Jimmy
love
Hendrix,
that shirt.
the Cro-Mags, AF, all that. I loved all the Southern California bands. Adolescence, of course, Black Flag. That Circle Jerks Group Sex record is a classic. All the Negative Approach, Husker Du. I mean, we listened to a lot of stuff.
This is an interesting flyer. I'm like looking at the graphics. Like, it's pretty creepy. This is of course, the Greenfield Grange.
Yep.
There's a lot of shows. There was a lot of shows at the infamous Greenfield Grange, huh?
Yeah, and that's a great one. Crucifix was a classic band.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're together, but yeah.
I haven't heard much from Crucifix.
Yeah, Sothera, yeah.
Yep. Now, when things, Outpatients, I'm not even looking at my notes this show. It's like we're just kind of winging it. The Outpatients were around for 10 years.
We existed from 82 to 1995. So
Okay.
Was that 13 years?
Right.
And yeah, that's the record. We never put out our early stuff. We had it on a demo called the Basement Tape, and that got traded all over the place. This record, The Association, came out in 88. and we had already lost our first drummer, and we had kind of gone more metal, basically. You know, we were into hardcore and you know, speed metal and thrash metal. We always kind of had a crossover sound. But yeah, we never put out the early stuff, unfortunately. I think, you know, when our father died, we just focused on live shows, and we didn't have any money to put out a record. And it's just, I don't know, we were evolving super fast on our instruments. And like, oh, you know, we can write a better song. We'll come up with something better, you know, than the older stuff. I mean, hindsight, we should have put something out back then. We had, you know, we were on stuff like this, the Flip Side.
Oh, wow.
And that had, like, you know, MIA, Misfits, DI, Outpatients. We had a song called Backwards Explosion. JFA was on here. Looks like Agent Orange.
What's the name of that band? Vagina what?
Vagina Dentata.
All right.
Yeah. We were on the Bands It Could Be God compilation out of Boston. That was a great compilation. Not as great as This Is Boston, Not LA.
Well, that was iconic.
Yeah. But all our Outpatient stuff is coming out this year.
Right. I have that. Let's take a left and talk about the Anthrax Club. Is this now there were two, give us a little history of the Anthrax Club.
The Anthrax Club, the first one, I always mix up the cities, but the first one was Stamford, Connecticut, the original place. And then the second one was Norfolk. This is from Stamford, from the original place with the low ceilings. Yeah, we played maybe 4 or 5 shows there with like CIA, Reflex from Pain.
Wow, the Connecticut bands.
Vatican Commandos.
Sure, Vatican Commandos being Moby's band.
Yes, yep. Seizure had Carl Agell, who went on to play with School of Violence and COC. Those are great bands.
Is that right? Listen, Vagina Dentata had Gerber in the band, Darby Crash's old buddy.
All right, that's cool.
I love how stuff like that pops up.
I know, it's great. That's the beauty of, like, hardcore people. We're all like so into it. We just it's filled our brains.
Yep. So Anthrax served as sort of like it was like New York and New York, Connecticut, Boston. It was almost like the in-between point.
Yeah, totally. The trio of madness there were those 3 cities. Yeah, I mean, it was a great run for bands. You'd play Boston, you'd go down to Connecticut, whether it was Stamford or Newark, and then just go into the city, play CBs. That's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday weekend right there.
You know what? I got to do? For RS70, who's a huge graffiti guy. Where's my group? I think I have Anthrax. Oh, bingo. Here it is, bro. This is for you, buddy. All right? Bam. All right? There you go. How about that, huh? I think that was the first one.
I think that's the first one too, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's a lot going on there, man.
Great place. We got stopped by the cops outside that club several times. What are you doing here? Well, we just played a show. Yeah. Great.
Stanford, Connecticut, it has a real gnarly part of town,
Oh yeah, totally. Yep.
This is like Karen Bodendorf says, I was surprised to see an Outpatients album in my mom's record collection when I was young. Totally not her thing, but she worked with Scott and bought one. Bonus for me.
Wow. So that's making me feel a little bit old. My mom, my grandfather liked your band. Yeah, that's cool. That's great. Awesome. Yep.
Here's another one of you at Anthrax. You caught a lot of air back then.
I was catching air back then. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
And if this is probably the show where they had a light bulb. There's a light bulb up there, and I cracked it open with my head. But luckily, I didn't crack my head open. I jumped up, and the bulb split and smashed all over the place. And of course, we kept on playing, but it was a little bit darker on my side of the stage.
Man. Did Venom play at Anthrax? No.
Venom?
Yeah.
I wouldn't think so unless they played the larger Norwalk area.
Oh, I see. Andrew Steele says, I saw Dag Nasty with Smalley earlier the day I saw Venom. Okay. Maybe that was, yeah, that makes sense. Sure. And then
Anthrax, that'd be hilarious.
Death.
Black metal.
Hey, black metal. Here's sort of this is sort of an iconic New York hardcore flyer here. You guys got on the, I was saying you guys got on the big stage, but upon a closer look, this is actually at the original Rock Hotel on Jane Street. Any memories of this?
Oh yeah. I remember that show very well. I'm pretty sure the one thing I'm sketchy is that I don't think DYS could make it, and I think the Cro-Mags filled in.
Oh wow!
And one thing I remember about that show is I had the bass, the guitar I still have. I had it on stage, and it was on a stand, and someone went up on the stage to sit on the stage before we played, knocked it over. That was a big scratch in the over the bass, but also. I got lots of stuff from that show. I also remember at that show outside, there was a huge fight between metal guys and skinheads. And the skinhead was pulling this guy with long hair down the street by his hair. So that's a painful one. I remember walking out and seeing that and hearing him like, ah! And I just like, well, I'm going back inside.
Man.
Painful. Yep.
Yeah. New York was rough back then, man. It was always, every show was like that,
Yeah, we would come to CB's and we would hang around the area, but we weren't able to like venture out too much just because,
I think this was one of the last, this is dated January, February, March, May 18th, 1985. I think that was literally one of the last Rock Hotel shows on Jane Street.
Huh. And it moved to the Ritz, right?
From there, it moved to From there, it moved to the original, to the Ritz, which is now Webster Hall. Yeah. And then I think they even did shows when they moved the Ritz to Studio 54. Yeah. So
cool, hardcore history. It's like a hardcore history lesson.
Well, welcome to the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live, bro.
Right. Yep.
What is? Oh, here's a cool one. How about the Outpatients at my favorite place, the Greenfield Grange? That's a cool shot.
Yeah, that's a great shot. Yep.
Yeah.
I see someone back with an SSD shirt.
Guys are ripping it up.
Yep. That's an early one, too, because I had the Hondo bass. That was my first bass that I bought.
The Hondo bass.
The bass. Remember those?
Sure, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got that for like $100 from cutting lawns up and down my street.
That's a good name for a band. The Hondo Bass.
The Hondo.
Yeah. Oh, boy. Yeah. I like this. James Elliott says, first time I went to CB's, it took a while to get across the street because there was a massive fight going on in front of the bodega.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
One thing.
Paulie pork chops with the good eye, Paulie. The crucifix jacket with studs. Circa 19, what is that? 83 there? 84?
That's 83. That's 83 because I had that bass in 83.
Dude's repping hard in 1983 with that jacket.
Yep. And that's probably someone from Crucifix because it probably was the Crucifix show.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
There's another guy just beside him that has that kind of spiky dreadlock type.
Oh, yeah. You're right. Those are the two. I think they came to CB's after that, and I saw them play, and they were great, man.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
They were freaking great. You mentioned the Outpatients basement tapes being released. Is that happening now?
That's it. That's the one. That's
Tell
the one
us about it.
We put that out in 83 and we recorded it on a boom box in our basement. On a fucking boom box. And we recorded it the night before we played that first Greenfield Grange show. The show was the February 5th. We recorded like the 3rd or the 4th.
And And it sounded good?
It sounded all right. Yeah, I mean, it was pretty, it was pretty raw, but hardcore's supposed to be raw, for the most part, especially back then. Yeah, it sounded all right. We went and re-recorded that stuff at Radio Beat, but yeah, that was the tape. That tape was sold hundreds of times over. I mean, we had those double deck cassette players, and I was just making tapes like crazy. And I don't even think we had like double time. It was like real time.
Oh, yeah.
Wait for 20 minutes for it to finish, that kind of thing. We got a good review in Maximum Rock and Roll back then for that record.
This cover of Readmitted.
Yes,
this is your art, correct?
It is. Yeah. Yep.
I think I told you this once. A while back, I was dating this gal, and she had art on her wall,
Yeah.
And one day I actually took a closer look at it, and it was a bunch of your art. And I was like, wow, fucking Scott's shit.
Yeah. So I don't know how the hell that happened. That's a small world stuff, man. Yeah.
I think I don't know. Why do I think she said she bought it at a flea market? Did you ever sell your stuff at a flea market?
I used to sell on the street in New York City at Union Square.
That's what it is, bro. That's where she got it.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, and I had a book out. I did a book of all my drawings. It was like kind of pen and ink stuff like that.
Yeah, your stuff is great, man.
I was kind of inspired by Raymond Pettibone who did all the Black Flag stuff.
You know what this reminds me of? Mad Mark Rude.
Yeah, I know that name. He did a couple covers.
I'll show you. I'll show you what he did. Hold on.
Yeah.
Let me show you, because this is kind of cool.
That and what's the guy's name from Rudimentary Peni?
I don't know.
He did really cool artwork. There was great artwork on the cover of that Void record. All that pen and ink, black and white kind of drawing stuff.
Yeah, it reminds me of this. Hold on. Man, this is really small, but hold on, let me see how this. It reminds me of this. Reminds me of this.
Oh yeah, totally. Earth Misfits. Yep.
It does. You're black and white. It reminds me of those characters. That's what it reminded me of. Yeah.
Well, that Outpatients record that you showed, that Readmitted, that's coming out on Painkiller Records sometime this year, and it's all our old stuff, all the Radio Beat stuff, the stuff that was on the Bands Could Be God compilation, the Flip Side compilation, that Readmitted record.
So it's like a collection. You finally gathered together all this stuff.
It's the record that should have come out in 1983, basically.
Got it. Yeah, I know how that goes. It's the record that should have come out. Yeah, right.
38 years later. Well, hey,
tell me about it. If I only would have printed up that High and the Mighty demo, into a 7-inch in 1983, things would have been very different.
Yeah. I hear you on that. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. There's interesting what. Yes, Andrew Steele says. Battalion of Saints, Misfits, Offspring, Mad Mark Rude, rest in peace. There's a documentary on Amazon about Mad Mark Rude. I started watching some of it. I need to get back to it. So
yeah, there's a couple different documentaries on some of the artists. Raymond Pettibone, there's a documentary and stuff.
Sure.
It's classic. The Black Bars.
Raymond Pettibone, Greg Ginn from Black Flag's brother.
Yep.
So here's another as we're sort of wrapping up the Outpatients thing. This is a t-shirt, and I'm sort of confused when this happened, but you guys went to Argentina with Agnostic Front? Oh, in 92.
Yep. Yeah, 92, 93. We went down there 2 years in a row.
How did that happen?
When I was working at Sam Ash Music in New York City, or maybe it was our guitar player at the time, Mark Lichtenstein. He was the second guitar player in the band, great guitar player. He met someone in, I think met someone in the store from Argentina and like, I'm looking for a hardcore band to come and play. And he's like, all right. He gave him a demo. That was it. So we went down there and played and did a couple shows. And he asked us back the next year. And he said, can you bring anybody with you? And at the time, Agnostic Front was rehearsing at my rehearsal studio at the Music Building in Manhattan. Yep. That's a picture I took of AF, of Matt Henderson slaying some riffs there in Argentina.
On the Jackson.
What?
It's Matty on the Jackson, Vinny, and of course, Craig Satari.
Yep. Who we used to call Scully back then, but I don't know if that name is still.
Yeah. Some of us still call him Scully.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they were rehearsing in the studio, and I think I asked Roger, like, hey, we have a chance to go to Argentina, and they're looking for another band. You want to do it? And he's like, sure, let's go.
Roger was always game.
Oh yeah, I mean, who
He's
would
the
be
gamer, that dude?
Yeah. So we went down there and played a couple of shows. It was great. Those guys were awesome. It was fun. It's pretty funny to do some shows with Vinny, I'll tell you. He had some backstage advice for everybody in the band. There was one time he said, if you're feeling a little bit stressed out before the show, the best thing you should do is just jerk off before the show. And yeah, it takes the edge off, man. You go out there, you be all set. And
words of wisdom from the Godfather of hardcore.
Yeah. I don't know how that would work. I mean, I would think that would just make you tired. But
excuse me, everybody, I need to jerk off.
But it's Vinny. It's like classic stuff.
Yeah, that makes sense. Tell us about this rehearsal studio. So when the whole Outpatients thing was happening, did you move to New York City at some point?
Yeah, we Outpatients went through a couple different drummers, so we were kind of in between. We had Scott Bates for a while, and he was a great drummer too. But I think he left to do something, and in that interim, School of Violence was a New York City kind of crossover thrash band, and I knew Steg from the band, and he called me up and said, "Hey, our bass player George Grant just got hit by a cab or something and broke his leg." And he said, "Can you fill in?" I'm like, "Sure, send me the demo." I learned the demos in the whole record in a week. Went down there and did an East Coast tour with them, with the Mentors, all up and down the East Coast. And then after I got back from the tour, I said, "Hey, I'm moving to New York City to my mother." And I was there in in a couple of days, living basically not squatting, but I was just living in the rehearsal studio. Kind of is squatting, but the rehearsal studio in Manhattan.
In the Music Building on 8th Avenue?
Yep, Music Building, 8th Avenue.
What a hellhole that place was.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I lived there for a year when I moved to New York City in 88 and lived there for a year with Samantha when I left in 2001. Wow.
This photo here, I notice on the door, it's School of Violets.
Yeah.
What's that about?
I think that's at Churchill's in Florida. So I guess the guy who wrote the flyer didn't know how to spell violence, so he put School of Violets. I'm sure he smelled like violets in that picture too.
Now this is you playing in School of Violence. That's Steg down low, and you with long hair.
Me with long hair. Yeah, I grew the hair out. It was all about the metal then.
Metal.
And also standing up by the door is the great Carl Agell. He was a singer of Seizure and also went on to do the Blind record with COC.
Oh, wow.
Fucking great singer, great guy, he's super cool. And then the drummer was Mark Evans, and he was a phenomenal drummer, and he's unfortunately no longer with us because he got murdered in London.
Oh, my.
But he joined Warrior Soul.
Wow.
That's how kind of School of Violence sort of disbanded, because he left, the drummer left, and that was it. But he got the Warrior Soul gig, and it was a great gig for him. That is a picture I took while we were on tour of Mark Evans, the drummer, El Duque from the Mentors, and Steg giving us all the middle finger, rightly so.
What was it like touring with that guy?
With El Duque?
Yeah.
As insane as you might think.
Wow.
Unfortunately, there was a lot of times he pissed himself. But I mean, actually, he was a super nice guy, but his whole thing was just like, where's the booze? Where's the chicks? Where's the, Where's the slap?
Ah,
Yeah,
I'm
basically.
not jerking off tonight. Who wants to jerk me off?
Basically, yeah. So that says it all right there. That picture. That's what that tour summed it up.
Chris Corkum asks, Scott, what is ex-drummer Mike of Outpatients up to?
Mike Kingsbury. I don't know what he's up to. Last I heard, he was working at a hospital.
Okay.
I think he had a family and stuff.
He went straight.
He was
rehabilitated.
Basically, yeah. He became an inpatient instead of outpatient. Back in the day, he was such a great drummer. He left because he had some family stuff he had to take care of, and that was it. He came back for a little while in New York City too, but.
Brooklyn Boy says El Duce is a creep. I think he killed Cobain.
I've heard that before. I don't know.
How the fuck did he kill Kurt Cobain? Come on.
I know there is some of that rumor and stuff. I mean, he was nice to us when we were on tour. He may have. I mean, yeah. I don't know all this stuff. He maybe. I don't know. I don't know about that.
How about your brother? What's he up to?
My brother is living back in Western Mass, totally sober and good. And kind of, keeping to himself these days. Lives back up there. He still plays guitar a little bit. He was doing some industrial music for a while. Yeah.
You were in School of Violence for a while, and our paths crossed. Here's a flyer from back in the day. The Tribe Broomhilda Antidote in School of Violence at Zone DK.
Where the hell did you find that?
I haven't. It was in my collection.
Zone DK. I remember that.
That was like the S&M kind of club on the west side of Manhattan. Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I did make a scrapbook of all those years, and then at one point I took everything out. I scanned every flyer, every pass.
Yep. I mean, I probably have that because I have books filled with flyers, and I even saved like stuff like this. I saved all my calendars. It's January 1983.
Wow.
And it has all the gigs.
Wow.
Let's see if I can find a gig here. Here's where I went to see the Ramones on the 31st of March '83.
Hey, I was around for that. Was that at the auditorium up there? I think we went to that and tore it up. Was that at like
UMass?
UMass.
Yes.
Dude, I was there.
Holy shit. And this April 9th, 1983, it's the Freeze at Outpatients. And it even have what we made on it. We made $30 that night.
Hey, wonder what's $30 in today's inflation? Probably like 150, right?
Maybe, yeah. Yep. I mean, I wrote all what we made at each show. $15 at this gig in Vermont with DYS. That might be gas money though, so
How do you pay a band $15, man?
I don't
like, here's a 10. Here's 3 5s. Thanks, dudes.
Thanks. 3 5. Hey, we were a trio, $5 each.
Were you a fan, Christopher Valdez? Were you a fan of the Dogmatics?
I remember the Dogmatics. I don't remember them enough to whether I was like a real fan of them or not. I remember it though. Yeah. Yep. Absolutely.
Here's another cool shot of you guys with Agnostic Front in Argentina.
Yep. Yeah. Down on there is Mark Lichtenstein, who was the second guitar player of Outpatients because we became a 4-piece for a while.
Look at Craig Satari with the beer, like.
In front of him is Scott Bates, who was our drummer back then. He also went on to play with Disassociate. Phenomenal drummer. Of course, Maddie Henderson. And a couple of dudes from Argentina. I got my shirt off there. I don't know why that is, but.
With your long hair.
Yeah.
You're doing it. That's cool.
Great.
So you have this rehearsal studio called Padded Cell, and who used to rehearse there again?
Agnostic Front, especially when they were working on the One Voice record.
Sure,
great record. Madball rehearsed there. Let me think, who else?
Sick of It All.
Sick of It All rehearsed there.
Sub-Zero.
Sub-Zero. Yep, Sub-Zero. Yeah, I'm spacing out. Yeah, I think even Crown of Thorns did a rehearsal once.
Didn't Darkside didn't Darkside?
Yeah, I played in Darkside for a while, but Darkside rehearsed there. That's probably how I hooked up with them because they needed a bass player at a certain point. God, I'm spaced on some of the other.
Didn't the Sick of All shoot part of their video in that studio?
Sick of All filmed the video for what's that song for this?
Is that step down? Sure.
Yeah.
Sure, man.
Scully's line there. Yeah. Yep.
That's a big they still that one rocks the house when they play that live, you know?
Classic song. Yeah. So they filmed that at my studio. That room was only 17 by like 19.
What I gotta look at that video again. Like were they playing as a band and they shot them playing as a band in that room?
Yeah, they shot them playing as a band, and they even brought in like a little train track for the camera to go back and forth.
Oh wow!
And like it was packed in there. I think like Ezek was there, and there's a bunch of hardcore people, luminaries from the scene, just jumping around. It was tight. It was tight in there. I don't think I have any pictures from that. I wish I did, but
listen, I always regret not taking more pictures. You know.
Yeah, but you got a lot of stuff though. So
I do. I do have a lot of stuff, and I did shoot a lot of pictures back then. But I wish I really would have done more. You know.
Yeah, me too.
Now, so you end up in Darkside NYC for a while.
Yeah, so they were rehearsing at the studio, and I think I did some tracks off this record. Ambitions Make Way for Dread. I was good friends with Joe Branceforte, Joe Darkside, who's a great drummer too. I love that guy. They were playing, and I think their bass player left, Baron Musaraka from Carnival AD, and he played with Sheer Terror for a while.
Yeah, he was in the original line. He was him and Blake in the original lineup of Sheer Terror. Yep.
Yeah. Yep. So I think he left, and I filled in a bunch of shows. You know, we played with All Out War and not Bedlam, but yeah, a bunch of bands. It just kind of worked out. It was great. It was fun playing with those guys. Rich is a good front man. Blake is hilarious.
Yeah. I haven't seen Blake in a minute. He turned up for a second a couple years ago, and I was like, "Oh shit, Blake, what's up?" I mean, he was a New York hardcore staple, man.
Oh, you know? Yep.
Todd Hamilton from Warzone, representing Arizona, says that was right before Jeff Morlos joined.
Okay, yeah, I think maybe Jeff came after I played.
Yeah,
yep. I remember Jeff Morlos. He might have played with Rejuvenate or Down Low. Those are other bands.
That makes sense.
Rejuvenate, Down Low.
Chucky Brown says Car Bomb Parade covered Step Down at last week's show at the Kingsland. Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah.
Great record. There was definitely some Sheer Terror riffing on that record. Cool.
Oh yeah, that Darkside record. Yeah.
Yeah, right on. Hey, let me do my last sponsor shout out stuff, and let's come back and let's talk about Guitar Me of One, and let's take some questions from around the world.
Awesome. Sounds good.
All right. What's happening? You and many other people around the world are watching the New York Hardcore Chronicles live. We are sponsored by New York Hardcore Comics, The Organic Grill, the Texas Silver Rush, Chain Reaction Records and Skateboards, DTFM Vinyl Distro, Chacho's Tacos, and since 1992, Generation Records, been a mainstay of the New York metropolitan area music scene. Today, they offer a diverse selection of new and used rock, jazz, indie, hip-hop, punk, hardcore, metal, blues, soundtrack, and reggae LPs, as well as T-shirts, posters, and other merchandise. They buy used record collections and music memorabilia and will pay you top dollar for them. House calls made for large collections in the tri-state area. Call or email generationrecords@gmail.com and follow them on Facebook and Instagram. And lest we forget, the Gutierrez brothers. Located in Corpus Christi, Texas, Chacho's Tacos opened their doors in 2001. Home of the almighty Chacho's Taco, they cook up an incredible home-style Tex-Mex food, and this month they are celebrating their 20th anniversary. They've been supporting underground music since the beginning, and in their own words, we ain't stopping anytime soon. Touring bands that play Corpus Christi, swing by and get a home-cooked meal at Chacho's Tacos. We got you. The underground scene will never die. Please follow us on Facebook or on Instagram. Once again, I want to shout out Hoya and Casa de Rock for sending me all kinds of cool shit, including the shirt, lots of cool stickers, including some great MQ stuff, right? Lots of cool stickers. One of these, what do you call these things that keeps the beer cold or whatever keeps your drink cold? What's this, a smoogie? What is this, a squeegee? What is this thing called? What is that thing called? I don't know. I'm not a beer drinker these days. A koozie. All right. Thank you for sending me the koozies. And you sent me a couple hats. And I got some cool shirts to represent. Thank you, Hoya, Casa de Rock. There is a super chat. If you like contributing to the show, pony up $1 or $2. Your question will come straight to the line in color. I can't miss it, which sometimes I do miss it. Next up, Wednesday, July 1st, Joey Shithead from DOA. July 25th, Rob Dukes. 28th, Dave Scott Schwartzman from AOD. Wednesday, August 4th, EK from Warzone and Sick of It All. Sunday, August 8th, Scott Ian is coming on the show. Glennie Friedman, August 11th. August 18th, Sam McBride and Joel Ghostin. Coming up after that, we also have a Biohazard show. Hardcore Lives. That's right. Hardcore Lives. There you go. That said, let's bring our guest back on. Hey, man. All right. Let's clear the deck. I want to play a little clip, and I want people to check out Guitar Me of One, and let's talk about that a little bit. So we're going to check out a clip. Party people, I think you will enjoy this. I certainly do. Here we go. That was very cool.
Thank you, man. Thanks.
Now, that was your dad?
That was my dad. Yeah, and that was
Wow.
his trombone that he played with. Played on a ship in World War II.
That is awesome. I love those videos that you do. You and your gal, do you just the two of you shoot those things?
Actually, the Guitar Me One stuff, I shoot the whole thing myself. Shoot and edit the whole thing.
Great, man.
And it's inspired by that like those 60s and 70s spy shows. I love stuff. Even like the 80s stuff like Rockford Files and Barnaby Jones, but probably more like The Prisoner and The Man from U.N.C.L.E. I love that shit. So that's
like our friend Jeff Steiner says, what a great tribute to your dad. That's awesome, bro. Yeah. It's really great.
Thanks.
And our people feel the same way. Tony Gerard says absolutely beautiful.
Awesome.
And I just want to say, anybody out there, reach out to Scott and check out his stuff at Guitar Me of One on Instagram. Lots of great stuff. We've played together, right?
Yep. Yeah. You had me come down at that show at Bowery Electric.
We played with you up the Drew Stone Hit Squad, my acoustic thing. We played with you up in Kingston, New York. That time.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. Kingston, New York. Yeah.
And you came and played down here, you got to come down and play A7, man.
I know. I should do that. Yeah. I think most people would like it. Some people are gonna like this, but it doesn't matter.
Listen, them motherfuckers. Don't worry about it. Like they'll love it, man.
Yeah, totally. It does. Yeah, it doesn't. It's all good. I mean,
it's all good.
I'm doing it's riffs. It's all riffs. That just play that. It's all from, punk rock riffs.
Where's my riff off my favorite record that you gave me? The first song on that record. I love it, bro. I still listen to that. I've told you this, man. I love that record, man.
Awesome. Thanks, man. Thanks.
That record's really, really great. Hey, let's take a second to talk about this, and we won't get crazy on it because people's eyes roll in their head. But what's up with this, bro?
That's the space station. So that's my pedal board that I designed and built the whole wood frame for. It's the pedal board I use for Frenchie and the Punk, which is my cabaret rock duo with Samantha.
Right.
And there's a loop pedal there. There's a kick drum pedal there. I got a mixer on there.
What's the board? What's on the right on the rack? What's the big red one with the 3 green stickers on it?
That's a loop pedal, a looper.
A loop pedal, right? So you play. So you press record. You press record. You play the riff. You press it again, and then it loops it.
And it loops it, and then I play all the melodies over it, and I kind of write the songs. I write the songs for that whole style, looping. It's kind of the Guitar Me of One idea. It's like a lot of it's based off of one riff, so it's it's a Guitar Me because I'm looping.
Our boy Todd Hamilton. What's that yellow rolling pedal? Is that a chorus?
No, it's a kick drum.
What?
It's a kick drum. So I do all the kick drum. Yep.
Oh, so you tap on that?
Yeah. It's an electronic kick drum. It has a pretty good kick sound in it.
No shit. I see. So basically that black pad, you just tap on it, and you could dial in the type of kick drum sound you want.
Exactly. Yeah.
Wow.
It helps when I'm doing like acoustic stuff with Samantha too. Kind of like almost like cabaret kind of that needs that. You know what I'm saying?
Got it. Yeah.
Pedal collectors. Yeah.
And I like how if you look up close, all the pedals have the green sticker on it that says where it should be dialed to.
Hell yeah, you got to have that starting point, especially for live shows. If we do festivals and there's like 10 bands on the festival, you got to get up there, no fucking around. Those are the starting points. If it sounds good, that's what I'm sticking with.
That's awesome.
Got to be prepared.
Yeah, that's awesome. And you and Samantha with the Frenchie and the Punk thing, you guys do a lot of like Renaissance fairs and a lot of upstate, there's a whole circuit upstate, a lot of fairs, right?
Yeah, actually, we don't do Renaissance fairs because we're a little bit too modern, actually, because that's more like old style music where we have.
We'll leave that to Richie Blackmore, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. We've played all over the U.S. We've played in England, France, West Africa. And French Punk it's a lot of people, it's a kind of a post-punk thing. We're like Susie Sue, that kind of thing. Sure. But with, the live looping. We play lots of alternative music festivals, definitely. Cabaret
and there is a cool, there is a circuit that exists of those type of venues and festivals and get-togethers, especially. I mean, I'm sure I always think upstate New York, but I'm sure they're everywhere.
All over the U.S., California, Chicago,
cool,
Atlanta. Steampunk festivals. We play a lot of different places. As well as clubs too. A lot of different places.
Yeah. Anybody has any questions, please post them up. Even if you've posted them up earlier in the show, it's question time. All you Boston, Massachusetts people, let's get some questions for your boy here. So post up a couple questions for Scott. Let's see what's happening. And gear. Okay, here you go, Scotty. Gear question: do you own a real Dallas Arbiter fuzz face pedal?
I do not own a fuzz face pedal. Nope. Actually, I don't. I do. I have one small mini distortion pedal, but I kind of keep it acoustic.
Yeah.
For some reason, it was a natural progression for me to go from bass guitar to acoustic guitar.
Is that an Ovation? What is that?
Nope, this is a Godin from Canada. It's a hollow body. It's got the classical style headstock, and it's
You've been playing that for a while.
yeah, for the last 15 years.
It's a damn good sounding. It's a damn good sounding acoustic guitar, man.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. There you go. Here's one from our resident historian, Chucky Brown. On the 1999 album Motion Sickness, the album has samples from telephone conversations and TV snippets entwined with the music. At the time, he called it an audio movie. Can you speak about that?
Yeah. When I left the punk rock scene, or I didn't really leave the scene, but I stopped playing in bands. I went solo, and the first records I did were where I just wrote songs, and I took snippets from movies and like answering machine messages and put them to music. That's basically, and so I kind of called it an audio movie. And that one record, Motion Sickness, followed the path of a relationship going south.
That's cool.
Yeah.
You've been very proficient. You have like 15 releases out.
I got a lot of records out, yeah.
Between, everything through the years,
Oh, yeah. Between Frenchie and the Punk and Guitar Me of One, yep.
He said he plays upstate. Anything near Saratoga, New York, or Florida? Is there a Florida, New York?
I don't know if there's a Florida, New York. I have played in Florida a couple of times, like Pensacola and Orlando. Saratoga, I just played in Woodstock, New York with Frenchie and the Punk.
You guys play up that around there a lot, yeah.
Yeah, I'm playing in Beacon, New York, July 31st.
Say hi to Craig Satari, right?
Yeah, yep.
Yep. Ever have a looping fiasco? Good question, Ack. Let's talk about Florida, representing Tallahassee, Florida. Joe Ackerman, star of the New York Hardcore Chronicles film, along with his wife, Mandy. Ever have a live looping fiasco?
Yes, I have. Yeah. Electronics, man, sometimes they can go berserk. Sometimes they just don't work. I've had it where it won't record out of the blue. Those are just like electronic things. But it's a lot of work to keep that, metronomical. You lay down the riff, you got to know those stops and starts. But I guess the only problems I've really had are just weird electrical things where they're just not working. I've missed a pedal a couple times and missed some cues, but it's all good.
You have to plug all that in. You can't go with batteries. Hey, Rat Bones, you have to go with everything has to be plugged in on that. You can't ever go with batteries.
Never. It's all plugged in.
Hey, let's say hi to Rat Bones. What's up, bro?
Hey, what's up, guys?
What's up?
Just enjoying the show, man. It's a real good one today, man.
Awesome.
You guys are bringing it back.
Bringing it boy back.
That was one of the first hand poke tattoos I ever did, was the crucifix.
Oh, cool.
And then I turned it into a bomb because I didn't want to be about peace anymore.
Great.
We got to get Scott down to play A7, right, Rat?
Yeah, definitely, bro. I was listening to you play. You're so talented. It's like if I was going to do a doc on myself, like in those parts where you're doing like live reaction, your guitar would be so cool. Like you can go anywhere with it. It's very cool, man.
Awesome. Thank you. Let's do it. I'll put some music to your documentary.
Yeah.
The Rat Bones theme.
Hell yeah. Yeah. For
sure. Hey, Scott, any other records you pulled out that you need to show us? Anything else around there? I love those videos that you did. I should have had those for the show. Those are dope.
I pulled out a couple New York records that people don't see as much,
Oh yeah, okay, let's do it. Oh yeah, well that's great. On Cabbage Records, Misguided.
Misguided. I got that. What about
Ooh.
False
Is
Prophets.
that on Rat? Was that on Rat Cage Records? No.
Let me double check. I can't even see a record label on here.
Right.
Foretold Productions.
Okay.
What else I got? Of course.
Yep.
Do that. The compilation.
Oh yeah.
It's got No Control, Disorderly Contact, and Ultraviolence, who he played with.
Yep.
And last but not least, that they don't get a lot of talk is.
Yeah. There you go.
That's a pretty crazy.
My good friend Ron Rancid.
Yep.
I like these old shoes. They remind me of all those bands like Ill Repute and just Accused. Just, you know, I probably seen you guys back in the day and didn't even realize it. You know, you were
Totally.
playing
Yes.
with bands like Straw Dogs and all those bands. You know, COC, definitely.
Oh yeah.
The DFW shows, you know, where I mean, you kind of started there. You know,
Say that again.
the DFW shows and the First Aid Station shows. You know, I saw a lot of that coming up in Jersey. So
The
those
Grange.
were special times, you know.
The Grange shows. Here's another one. From Chucky Brown, who, by the way, crushed it the other night at Kingsland for the A7 Comp release bash. He sings for Crazy Eddie. In 2000, he composed instrumental music for an independent film called Riders. Can he speak on that? Does he have the movie poster?
I don't have the movie poster for that. I wish I did. Yeah, independent film. I don't even know how that came about. I probably met the guy at a show somewhere, and I wrote some like ambient guitar kind of music for it. You know, I think they use it when someone was going on a stretcher down a hospital corridor, and that's all I really remember about that. Interesting movie. I don't even know if it's on anything anymore. I don't know if it's on Netflix or any of those small.
It's interesting how there's a contingent of films that were like released on VHS, but that's it. Like, so that there is sort of this collector's, market for some of these films that like came out, were released on VHS in like 1983, and never, and that was it. You know.
Yeah, I might have the videotape somewhere, but.
I was going to say, let me ask my question before I get hooked. But I wanted to ask you if you had any real big influences, like the way Jimmy Page was doing soundtracks, and that caused you to like get outside yourself and really, you know, experiment with things instead of just staying, you know, to the narrows that everyone else was doing. You know, because
that's a really good question. Yeah, that's a really good question. Back in the day when I was like full into punk rock and hardcore, I saw this guy at Smith College in Northampton named Michael Hedges.
Oh yeah.
And he was one of these guys that did all the tapping on acoustic guitar.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of blew my mind. And that made me realize that you could play instrumental music and people actually like it. It's like they don't have to hear words and singing. I was like, huh. You know, because I like the theme songs from shows. Like if you listen to like the Rockford Files, that's a cool intro. You know, like those instrumentals. That
Hawaii Five-0, right?
Classic. Yeah, I like surf rock too. It's instrumental. But yeah, that Michael Hedges guy was definitely, you know, showed me that, you know, you can expand the boundaries of guitar and not just listen to the Ramones and Judas Priest like I was.
Nice.
That's a good question. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's others too.
Yeah, Larry Kelly. Joe Satriani, right? Another one.
He had that record.
Roth?
What?
Scorpions, the first Scorpions player?
Yeah, Uli John Roth.
That's right. Oh, very good, Rat Bones.
He had that really cool, odd guitar. You know,
Almost like Prince guitar before, way before, right?
Way before.
I saw Joe Satriani here in New York in a small place early on, and I'll never forget it. But I was with some friends, and we were literally like this.
Yeah.
He blew us away.
That first record that he put out, that Surfing with the Alien.
There was one before that, but yes, Surfing with the Alien was fantastic.
You're right, there wasn't before. Great instrumental record. Yep. Good stuff.
Thanks, Rat.
Yeah, no problem, guys.
And we'll see you. I'll see you. Hold on. Let's put it up one more time. I will see you on Sunday when we return to the A7 finally after 16 months for the Rampage Mosh Fest 2.
Nice.
Awesome.
All right.
Good.
See you later, Rat.
We'll see you, man.
Let me give one shout out before I go. I just want to shout out Jay from Nobody's Perfect. Thanks for hitting me up and ordering a shirt. The letter he sent me was late, and if you're watching, you know it's coming your way, buddy. Definitely cool to be supported by like OGs that I really respected back in the day. You know, nobody's perfect. You know.
All right. We'll talk to you later, Rat.
All right, later.
Bye. There you go. Rat Bone's in the house.
Yep.
Dropping knowledge.
Yeah.
Dropping guitar knowledge.
That's awesome. Yep. A good question, too.
Yeah. All right. Well, let me see. What else? I think yep. It's Joe Satriani. Yep. There you go. Surfing with the Alien. Great record. Yeah, it was good. Good record. All right, man. Hey, look. That was a fun little ride around the merry-go-round.
Hell yeah.
Want to thank you for coming on and spending some time with us. Anybody you want to shout out? Any sponsors or people? Anybody you want to thank?
Actually, yes. Yeah, I want to give a shout out to Godin Guitars, who make those guitars that I play all the time. Shout out to Mark Lichtenstein, Scott Bates, Viz, Mike Smith, all ex-members of the Outpatients, Carla Rand in Western Mass that used to record a lot of records, and most importantly, Samantha Stevenson. So if she wasn't here, I don't think I would be here. Yeah, big shout out to her.
Hold on a second. I'm stuck.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I got stuck for a second.
Thanks so much, man. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, it was great. It was a lot of fun, and I know I appreciate it. And I want to thank you for watching the show. I know I see you out there a lot, and it's good to know that good friends like you are out there, man.
Awesome. Likewise. Yep.
I'll talk to you later.
All right. Peace. Cheers.
Well, there you go. Scott Helland from Frenchie and the Punk, and formerly of the Outpatients, or currently of the Outpatients, and Deep Wound. This is the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live. So there you go. Thanks, everybody, for stopping by. That was a fun show. 1 week from today, we have Joey Shithead on the show. I hope it doesn't fall apart. He is a politician. He is a politician, and he has something coming up. So we're trying to sort through it. So that said, hopefully we'll see you in a week. If you're in New York City, hopefully we'll see you at the Rampage Mosh Fest on Sunday. So there you go. Thanks a lot, everybody. Until then, do good things. Good things will come to you. Well, maybe the show doesn't want me to end. Crazy. Thanks a lot, everybody. Talk to you soon.